Last time on Astro's Dev Log. While still overcoming burnout, Astro unveiled his new additions to Project Peel and requested viewers share their thoughts regarding redoing the dummy course. The decision was made to suspend the dummy course, and with that, Astro was free to pursue other courses and guides. It's time to see what this newfound freedom has allowed to transpire. Now playing entry number 7.
Hello and welcome. My name is Astro-Drifter, and boy do I have a lot to share with you. I've done a lot of things since the last entry, mostly related to game development, but also somewhat related to the devlog. I'm very excited, so let's get to it. Okay, so for starters, fixing up the dummy course has been put on hold potentially forever. And the first thing that I did after that was decided was spruce up the devlog a bit. Let me know what you think of this new, brighter appearance in the comments below. I also managed to touch up the Astro dude, so enjoy that as well. After that, I decided to go searching for some full-length video game tutorials. In my search, I found 2 giant playlists on YouTube that were perfect for what I was looking for. The first one was created by a user named Zigguris, and the other by Phew Tutorials. This massive playlist has a lot of videos from a lot of recognizable names. Some good,
I'm Paul.
some not so good,
No, God!
some fresh, some not so fresh. It's an impressive list without a doubt, but the overwhelming number and variety of videos here made me decide to focus on Zigguris' playlist first. But I'd come back for this playlist in the future. Zigguris' playlist is full of awesome tutorials that walk you through how to program retro-style arcade games, and a few modern mobile games as well. While these videos don't show you how to make an exact one-for-one clone, they do show you how to create a stable and well-working build of each game, with room for the viewer to expand upon if they want to. They're great for breaking back into the coding mindset as well as exploring features of Unity that you haven't used before. I decided to start small, so my first game was Snake. Very simple, and very easy to follow. 10 out of 10. A masterpiece. So then I moved on to the next one. Pong. I enjoyed the AI programming section in this one, even though it wasn't anything serious. After all, it's Pong. We're not talking about something crazy like the AI from Alien Isolation. Next, Space Invaders. Epic. I love when I make a game but I can't play it, purely for the fact that I'm bad at it. And at this point, I decided I needed to start pacing myself. I managed to make these 3 games in the span of 3 or 4 days, and the hardest part was deciding which one to do next. So, to combat indecision, I made a roadmap for all of the tutorials that I wanted to do. My plan was to do a few more videos from Zigguris, and then move on to the bigger, longer, and potentially more advanced projects. So I returned to the other playlists to handpick the videos I was going to try. Real quick, I'd like to pause for a moment and share some advice with you. If you're a YouTube tutorial grinder like myself, here's the 4 things you should be paying attention to when choosing a tutorial to follow. Number 1, age. If the video is older than 4 years, especially when you're programming, maybe look for another one. Chances are something in the video is no longer supported or works very differently now. Number 2, comments. If people are asking a lot of questions in the comments, but their questions aren't getting answered, you may want to try a different video. Though, always check to see if the channel is answering questions off-site, like in a Discord or personal blog. Number 3, resources in the description. If the tutorial has resources that you need to use, but the links are all broken or unavailable, move on to a different video, unless you think you can manage without them. And number 4, coding practices. If you're interested in a video, zip over to where there are coding sections and watch how the code is being written for 3 to 4 minutes. If the code is using more advanced features, or seems to show good coding practices, not using 1,000 if statements and 2 billion variables, it's probably worth watching. This is a good sign that the person doing the tutorial is well versed with the code they're sharing and has professional experience. Just remember, just because a code is complex doesn't mean it's good, so be careful. What you shouldn't pay attention to is views. I've had some of the best advice come from some of the smallest channels, so never discount someone based on the size of their channel or the traffic moving through it. As a disclaimer, these guidelines are personal recommendations, so they aren't airtight, meaning there are plenty of exceptions to them. Nonetheless, they've helped me a ton in my YouTube tutorial surfing, and I hope they can help you too. Anyways, back to business. When I was finished putting together my roadmap, it looked a little something like this. Now, nothing here is set in stone. There's always a chance I'll find a different video or skip some of the ones that I actually have on this list. But nonetheless, I've included links to each of them in the playlists in the description, so if there's anything you'd like to try yourself, head on over to their channels and let me know how it goes. The very end of my journey is going to reunite us with a familiar channel. One I've praised before. CodeMonkey. Hello again, old friend. I decided to include his incredibly generous 10-hour-long beginner-intermediate course as my final challenge before deciding what to do next. And with my roadmap built like a flimsy house of cards, it was time to jump back into the mix. And so, I got down to business. Flappy Bird, done. Frogger, done. Donkey Kong, Konged but not forgotten. And Tetris, put in its place. Although, that one wasn't as easy as the others. The Tetris tutorial was very interesting. I wouldn't recommend it for beginners because it was rather complicated compared to the other tutorials, which there is a warning about that at the beginning, but anyways, Tetris was tough. For being such a simple game, there's a lot more going on in the background than I was expecting. As of this log, I'm still studying the code we wrote so I can replicate it wherever I may need to in the future. And so, that's everything I've managed to do since the last entry. There's not much to say here, since you've seen what my roadmap looks like, but once I've got a good grasp on the code from Tetris, I'll move on to the next tutorial, which will be Pac-Man. After that, it'll be time to move away from Zigguris's videos and over to more 3D-oriented tutorials. I may also revisit some of the Udemy classes I was taking, but that's undetermined for now. By this time next month, I hope to be at least working on Samyam's Line Writer series. On a personal note, 1 log a month and sharing updates via social media has been the perfect balance between making devlogs and actual development. So far. It's really allowed me to focus on getting better with sharing my progress while not canceling out actual development. And I'm actually really happy with the way I'm working on things. Thank you so much for watching this entry. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. It's always appreciated, and I promise to serve you the very best content that I can. With all that said, I think it's time I get back to work. Keep an eye out for updates and featured clips on the socials. Until the next one, this is Astro-Drifter, signing off.